Hi, everybody. Welcome. You're here for Maintaining Strength and Conditioning for Baseline Health with Joslynn Corredor. If you're looking for the discussion of the impacts of asset depreciation methodologies on taxes, you're in the wrong class. I'm Jason Hall. I'm the CFO here at Gnarly. I have the pleasure of introducing today's clinic. So first, I'll talk about a couple housekeeping items. First, I'll introduce Gnarly. Gnarly Nutrition, we offer a full line of all-natural NSF certified sports nutrition products. We design nutrition for athletes and individuals who pay attention to what goes on inside their bodies. We pride ourselves in offering clean, honest nutrition that tastes great. We're wrapping up our 2 months of clinics about preventing injuries, dealing with injuries, recovery tips in general, as well as establishing and maintaining baseline health and nutrition. We call this longevity in sport. We hope the information passed through these clinics will help you to perform at your best throughout the rest of the year and for years to come. Our newest product, Gnarly Collagen Pro, is now available. Collagen helps with injury prevention and repair for tendons and ligaments, ultimately keeping you doing more of what you love. This fits right into the theme of longevity in sports. Following this clinic, we will be emailing a recording of it to you, as well as providing an opportunity for you to try out Gnarly Collagen Pro to discount along with a free gift. So watch your emails. One last item I want you to be aware of. If you enjoy the clinic, please take a minute to take a screenshot or jot down something that you find useful and go ahead and share it in the socials. You can tag us at Gnarly Nutrition, tag Joslynn if you like as well. At the end of the clinic, you'll see a short survey. It takes just a minute or two to fill out. We'd love to hear any feedback you have for us. And then if you look down at the bottom, you see a Q&A button there. That's how you can interact with Joslynn as she goes through her presentation. So she'll be able to respond to any questions that pop up. Okay, so enough from me. Now what you're really here for is me to introduce today's presenter. So Joslynn's a strength coach based out of Boulder, Colorado. She's worked with professional athletes from a wide variety of sports, as well as recreational athletes. She primarily works with outdoor athletes that want to push their sport while maintaining a well-rounded strength routine. That's all I have. Joslynn, it's all yours.
Okay, sweet. So I do want to say, everyone that is watching, my dog may come in and out of the little picture. So I apologize. If she's annoying, I will kick her out, but she may be in and out of it. So I have kind of a list of things I want to talk about, and mainly I just want to, this whole thing is longevity, right? Like we want to perform in our sports. We want to not get injured. How do we do that? That's kind of my main thing, is always just making sure that I'm not injured so that I can perform. Accidents happen, and we can't always prevent everything, but we can try to do little things. And I would say, like, everything that I've heard from so many of my clients lately is, their New Year's resolutions have been, I want to drink more water, I want to stretch more, I want to do mobility, I want to do the things so that I can do my sport. And the list ends up growing so big. So I would say, like, start with something, first of all, that is measurable. So maybe it's just 2 things that you're choosing to do every day, right? I think, or even just 1. I think that sometimes people get so wrapped up in so many New Year's goals that, I don't know, you end up letting yourself down. So start with something small. That's the first thing I wanted to say. What I'm going to start out with is a few things you can actually, it's a new year. We all had to be in quarantine. We all sat a bunch. We all, were in this position a lot, whether we're on our phones, on our computers. So I would say, like, if you don't have a New Year's resolution, maybe it's something like checking in with your body. Like, how do we even see where to start, right? First off, having a main goal, right? Like something that's super specific. Then whether you're working with a coach or doing it on your own, like having something that you're moving towards is the main thing. And then you want to basically assess your body, whether, again, it's a coach doing it or you're looking something up and kind of recording yourself and trying to see how you're feeling. And I'm going to give you a few things. So one of the main things I like to do with clients is check their overhead squat. If you can't even do a squat, don't worry about it. But if you want to try this with me, all you need is a wall. So what we're going to do is measure about a hand's width away from the wall. And then what I'm going to be looking for is actually, you're going to see how bad I am at this too. So we're going to be looking at ankles, my shoulders, and my hips. So those three things. And I kind of like to start with those whenever I'm working with a client. Like, I look at those main things, and depending on the sport, maybe I really hone in on one of those things. So I'm going to do an overhead squat, but I'm going to do it against the wall. So if I put a hand away, and then you don't have to be perfect about it. You just want to be pretty close. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my arms over my head. And so if you're doing this, you can do it with me and just kind of listen. So we're going to go hands overhead. And I want you then to squat down, right? You can kind of see I get blocked. Like, yes, I could go a little bit lower, but what's going to happen is I'm going to have to go hands wider to go down, or, take my hands away and then maybe I can squat. But what's blocking me right now is actually my hips and my spine, right? And I can actually feel that right in my lower back. So that's a really good one to check in if you're a climber, a runner. Honestly, if you do mountaineer stuff, I would say that's a baseline that's really good to do. It really checks in with your upper body, your hips, and your ankles. So if your your heels, if they lift off the ground, that could be your ankles, right? You could be needing to work on ankle mobility. If you feel like any pinching in your hips, if you're a runner, big no-no. You want to make sure that you nip that pretty quickly, just because that's going to prevent you from doing stuff. And I won't talk too long. I do have a workout for you guys. And just making sure that you have good shoulder mobility. A lot of my climbers, like, going into this position and then to now bring you against the wall, that feels nearly impossible for a lot of people. And it's so important. It's such a primary position that you're putting yourself when you're on the wall. So I would say if you're a climber, make sure you can do that. Getting yourself all the way to the ground is, I would say, a really good goal. If you don't have one yet, that's a really good one. Okay, so shoulders, I would say a really good test for that is if I'm flipping around, you want to tuck your thumbs in, make a fist, and then I'm going to reach, and notice I can't actually even have my hands touch. So I want you guys to go ahead and try that. Like, how close can you get? Ideally, again, it matters with the sport. If I'm working with one of my trail runners or ultra runners or even just 5K runners, that doesn't matter as much, but I do want them to have a certain range, because when you're running, like, what are we doing too? We kind of sometimes hunch. So that can really affect your breathing and, honestly, your core strength if you're always kind of in that position. So I would say work on getting that shoulder mobility. If you are a climber, you want to get to touching. Notice I wasn't. I typically can get a little bit closer. It takes a little bit more of a warm up. Mini background, I had a double mastectomy, and a lot of times my chest just naturally just tightens up a lot. So I have to do that stuff all the time. And it really, it's really hard for climbing, but as long as I do the stuff, then I'm pretty, I feel pretty safe with my shoulders. So a couple other things, we're going to move down into our hips. If you guys have any questions, again, you can put them on the Q&A, and let's see. Yeah, I can see them too if you have any questions, because I'm going a little quick with some of this. So a couple things for my runners, cyclists, mountain bikers. I mean, what are we doing a lot, right? We are a lot of times on one leg. Like, yes, you're moving quickly, but a lot of your power is transferred at any time, right? You're not doing a squat position all the time. A lot of sports, we're doing a lot of unilateral stuff. So like landing when you're running, right? So a lot of times you're never like fully on the ground like this unless you are coming off of a starting block. So a couple things that I want to address with your hips are balance. So making sure that you can balance on one leg. So if you want to perform this with me, it's going to take about, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. So what I want you to do is stand up. I'm going to start with my left leg. So you're going to bring that leg up. I'm going to set the timer right now. And we're just going to stand here for about 20 seconds. If this feels really easy, that's a good thing. The next level is to close your eyes. So I want you to close your eyes if this feels easy. Honestly, I can't really do it. I need to work on this one. I also want to say this is a foam pad, so it's going to make it a little bit more tricky. All right, that's 20 seconds. So if you did not fall over, your eyes were open, that's a good thing. If you felt like you were kind of trying to stabilize yourself, that should be part of your goal. If you're a runner, we are in a unilateral stance all the time when we're running. So you want to make sure that you can balance on one foot. That's going to help you when you're running on trails or if you're mountain biking and you're on different types of terrain. So let's do our other side. Okay, so 20 seconds. Here we go. Lift that leg up. So again, if this feels really easy, go ahead and close your eyes. Try to do it. I will fall over if I try to do it. That is part of my resolution. I have rolled this ankle many times running in the past. We have 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. You can kind of see my ankles kind of rocking back and forth too. It is not helpful if you don't practice it. So I would definitely say if that felt hard, make sure you kind of put that into your practice. Another thing you guys can do is calf raises to strengthen your ankle. And there are so many other little things, but I do just want to mention balance, checking in on your shoulders. The overhead is a nice overall body check-in. And then we're going to do a little bit of a full body workout. So if you want, get some water and make sure you have a nice open area. And then at the end, I'll try and make sure that I have a little bit of time to tell you a little bit more about myself and what I do too, but I really wanted to get you guys doing a workout. Okay, so we are gonna start with some lower body. I am so adamant about core because that is your entire trunk for your sport, right? I want to ask you guys, like, if I could interact. Name a sport that you don't use your core, right? You use your core for everything. So we're going to do a little bit of core, and then we will do a little bit of upper body. I'm not going to require a ton of that because I didn't ask anyone to have equipment. So this is going to be all non-equipment, but it's kind of a nice little baseline. Also, if you are looking for something to kind of start and you're like, I haven't been doing anything, then this is kind of the perfect little workout to start out doing a couple times a week. And I would add a little bit of pulling to this, whether it's using a TRX or dumbbells, because I didn't put that in it today, but that's the only thing. I would add a little pulling to this, and otherwise it's a really good overall body workout. So this first one, we're going to go onto our side. You can lie down and you can support your head. So we're going to go 15. I want you to actually turn that foot down. This is my right leg. Doesn't matter which leg you start with. So we're going to go 15. So all the way up as high as you can for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make sure to turn that foot in. 6, kick back a little bit. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good. Let's switch sides. And for this one, we are working our glutes. So glute med, one that's actually pretty difficult to work or actually to engage a lot of times. So turn that foot in. I want you to kick back slightly. 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, make sure to kick back a little, 7, 8, 9, whew, I feel it, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you can actually just add like a 1 to 3 pound ankle weight. Just make sure you're kicking back a little bit as you're doing it. So we're going into glute bridges. If you have mini bands like this, feel free to put them on and then put them right above your knees. You do not have to use them. I'm not going to use them because I didn't require it, but if you have them, go ahead and add that in. We're going to go glute bridge. I want you to start about hip distance apart. Okay, and I really want you to focus on that core going nice and tight at the top. Okay, so we have 20 of these. So tight core and lift up, pause at the top for a second for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, almost there, 19, and 20. Perfect. If you did not feel that in your glutes, there are many ways you can actually make it a little bit harder, but I didn't know my audience, so we are starting with this. Different ways you can make it harder with a band, with weights. So many ways you can make it more difficult. You can do it single leg if you want to. We're going to be doing 3 rounds of this. So if you want to make it harder, grab a band, a weight, or like I said, you can do it single leg. All right, we're going to do split squats. I absolutely think these are so important, especially for all my unilateral sports. So I'm going to give you front view and then I'll also go sideways, okay? So we're going to do 15 on each side. So the way you're going to set this up, you can either use a yoga block, putting your knee down to 90 degrees. So I'll go sideways. And that's a really nice way to set this up because I get that a lot when people are performing split squats. They're not sure how to quite set it up. Another way, if you don't have a yoga block, is just to do it on the ground. Maybe roll like a jacket, a sweater underneath so that you have something nice and comfy under your knee. Okay, so about 90 degrees is what we're looking for each leg. So here we go. I want you to watch the knee. Try to not let it go in. Slightly out is perfect. Here we go. 15 on each side. 1. Keep those hips even. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, squeeze your glutes at the top. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So this next one, I'm going to show you side profile. I'm switching sides, still focusing on the same thing. So 90-90, perfect. And here we go. Whoa, 1, a little more bouncy on this one. 2, 3, 4. I'm not weighting the back one that much. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect. Okay, legs are burning a little bit. So if you want to make that one harder, quite a few things you can do. You can hold dumbbells, you can grab jugs of water, jugs of milk. You can honestly hold something in your hand too. So if you want to add weight to that, we're going to go back to the beginning. We're back to leg raises. So go back onto your side. Okay, so I'm actually going to probably only do 2 rounds, and then we'll see if we can get through everything, because I want to make sure that I kind of tell you a little bit more about myself. I really wanted you guys to get a workout in. So we are turning that foot in again. We are on for 15. So 1, 2, remember, kick back a little bit. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect. All right, switch sides. And I'll make sure if you guys need a break, grab some water too. I'll make sure that we get a little bit of a break. Okay, turn that foot in, other side. 1, kick back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Perfect. All right, so basically we're already on the ground, so I'm just gonna have us flip over. We're gonna go straight into our glute bridges, hip distance apart, tighten the core a little bit. Here we're on for 20. Tighten up the core and tuck that pelvis a little bit. Raise up for 1, 2, pause at the top, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, squeeze your glutes at the top, 12, squeeze, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I want you to hold it, 3, 2, 1. Good. Come back down. Okay, we're on for split squats again. If you felt like you were pretty imbalanced when you were doing the split squats, that kind of brings me back to what we kind of talked about in the very beginning about balance. But what you can do, sorry, going out of the frame for a second, you can use something like the wall to balance, right? I'm going to use this, not the best, it's a little unstable, but go 90-90. But if I needed something to help me, we'll pretend this is the wall. You guys can use the wall for a little bit of balance. So we have 15 on each leg. Here we go. Make sure those hips are even. 1, 2, maybe don't go all the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, driving with that front leg, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so I keep repeating, driving with that front leg, working front leg, not weighting the back one. That is really important for the split squats because that is the main leg. This is actually, I would say, if your goal is to do a Bulgarian squat, split squats are kind of that first thing that you want to do. All right, let's set up for other leg. So 90-90. And then I'm going to say get a drink of water, and then we'll try and do this pump out the next set. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, weighting that front leg, 7, 8, burning, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. I want you to shake that leg out, shake both of them out a little bit. Okay, get a drink of water. If you want to bump up the intensity a little bit, then go ahead and grab mini bands or some dumbbells. So grab some water. It's hard to talk and do exercises. Okay, so we are back to, and this is our last set, back to leg raises. And if you notice the theme, you should be feeling this in your glutes the entire time. And then we're gonna go into core. All right, so here we go. Last set, 1, 2, kick back, 3, 4, go as high as you can. 6, good. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, kicking back, 14, and 15. Good. Switch sides. All right. Turn that foot in a little bit. Here we go. Kick back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, good, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Good. All right, like I said, we're on the ground already. So we're going straight into glute bridge, hip distance apart. If you want to add that band to make it a little bit more difficult, go ahead and do that now. Give you a second. Or if you want to put a dumbbell, you can actually put it right on your hips. And I suggested also just doing single leg, which you would just raise one leg. While doing this, just make sure that your hips are even the whole time. All right, last set, here we go. Squeeze, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, squeeze at the top, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Last one, we're going to pause at the top. 20, hold it. 5, 4, 3, squeeze harder, 2, 1. Good, relax. Whew, awesome, you guys. Okay, so split squats, last leg one. And like I said, if you need to use the wall, use it for balance. Otherwise, we're gonna go straight into it. If you wanna grab some weights, I'll give you a second to do that. And let's set up 90, 90. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Make sure the hips are even. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, shake that leg out. We got one more side, and then we are doing core. All right, 90, 90. Here we go. Core tight. That's going to help you with your balance. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoa, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh my goodness. Okay, shake the legs out again. Get a drink of water. Right before we start core, I'm going to kind of explain how I chose the core exercises too. So get the drink of water. Okay, so for the core, I chose 4 exercises. And the way that I coach, I really, really like to drive home having awareness of your core. So a lot of times they don't look that difficult, but if you don't feel like you have a really good base of core, these are the perfect exercises to get you started. Like if anything feels ever intimidating, like there's so much information on social media. I feel like even myself, sometimes I see stuff and it can all feel really intimidating, but look really cool, right? So I'm going to show you guys some stuff that if you just haven't been doing core, do this for a couple weeks and then try something harder. There are ways to make what I'm going to show you harder, but for a beginning, if you haven't been doing it, these are really good, even if you're doing this a couple times a week. So this first one is called bear crawl, and we're going to go side to side. What I would say is if you have wrist problems, this one's not awesome, but you can just hold this bear crawl position, which it looks like this. You're going to be in a quadruped position. So wrists are right under your shoulders. Your knees are right under your hips, okay, right here. And the key though is we actually lift and we're hovering about a couple inches off the ground, okay? So you can either just hold this position or you can try and go side to side. I should show you this way. Okay, so I lift up and then you guys can go side to side. Okay, if your wrists start to hurt, I know quite a few clients get that. I would say let's just hold that bear crawl position, and you can put, you can either roll a towel under, you can use a foam roller, you can even do this and kind of just hold. That's going to put your wrist in a nicer position. Hold on, I just saw someone asked a question. Let's see, will we be able to see this seminar again after it is done to review? There are some exercises I was unable to see because you were at the bottom of the screen and it's hard to see. Okay, let me answer this live. Let's see if I can go back. So yes, they're sending this to everyone later. So you guys are going to get this recording, and I believe you can do it later. So yeah, I don't know why you guys maybe can't see me, but you will get the recording later. So I apologize, yeah, if you can't see. But if you want to, like I said, modify, you can use a foam roller for your wrist, or you can also roll up like a towel or use dumbbells, okay? I'm gonna do on my wrist, but like I said, you can modify if needed. Okay, so I'm gonna set a timer. Remember, you can either just hold that position or you can move side to side. Okay, here we go. 1 minute on. So I'm gonna go side to side. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can actually put a foam roller on your back, or you can put something that helps you almost keep yourself honest, like even putting a yoga block on so you move with intention and you keep your core super tight and try to not drop it. You can almost see, I'll show you guys sideways. You can see that it's trying to almost rock. And if I slow it down, right, then it's not going to rock side to side. I know this one seems like a silly one, but it really does get pretty hard. Honestly, I'm going to hold it the next 15 seconds. So you really want to make sure you drop those knees, roll the shoulders back and down. Whew. 5 seconds. 4, tighten the cord. 3, 2, 1, relax. Okay, good. So bear crawl is really awesome. If you have wrist issues, not the best one, but it is really good for your entire trunk. So we're gonna go resisted bicycle crunches. If you do not have a band, then I would say don't worry about it. I'm gonna show you 2 different versions. So first version, if you have a band, you can put it along your feet, just like this. You're gonna press out slightly, and then we're gonna press lower back against the ground, and then we're gonna start 90-90. And what you're gonna do is continue to press your lower back against the ground as if you were smashing something. I like to say smash a grape. So press against the ground, press out against the band, and then you're gonna go opposite leg, opposite knee, come back while still pressing out, opposite knee, opposite elbow, and then we're just gonna keep alternating, trying to do 10 on each side. If you don't have the band, you can just do normal bicycles, okay? So here we go. We're gonna go 10 on each side. Like I said, you have band or no band. So band is just a little bit more challenging. If you don't have it, do not worry about it. All right, here we go. So 1, keep pressing your lower back. 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, woo, 5, 6, 7, 7. This should be burning. 8, good. 9, last one. 10 and 10. So notice I have resistance pressing out the entire time that I'm doing that. If you did that correctly, you really should have felt that isolated on your core. Okay, so we're gonna go elevated side crunch. So that one, I would say if you have a chair, a bench, anything, honestly, to get you off the ground. I love side plank, but the issue with that, I really feel like, especially for my climbers, you guys always feel it in your shoulders, right? And side plank, yes, elevated is modified, but it isolates your obliques a little bit more, and it's not going to compromise the exercise. All you're going to do is isolate your muscle a little bit more. So for this one, we're going to do 35 seconds on each side. So If you have a chair nearby, a bench, anything to elevate yourself, go ahead and put your elbow on. We're going side plank up. So press your hip all the way up. If you want to make this one a little bit more difficult, what you can do is raise the hip up and then go back to straight. So essentially almost doing little side crunches. Otherwise, just hold side plank. And I shouldn't have said just, it's still really difficult. Good. Really, really side crunch on that side. Lifting that hip up. We have about 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, other side. Okay, so same thing on this side. If you were doing the hip lifts, then repeat that. Timer started. If you were just holding side plank like me, don't worry about lifting the hip. Good. Let's lift it a little more of a crunch. You guys are doing awesome. Good, let's open that shoulder up a little bit. If you feel tight while doing this in your shoulder, what did we talk about in the beginning? We need to work on a little bit of shoulder mobility and stretching. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay, so we're going into Superman. So I really like to also add in always something for your back. A lot of people ignore that. They just do front stuff. And I feel like by ignoring your back, you're not fully addressing your entire trunk, which I would say core is your trunk, right? Like a tree. You can almost imagine it like that. If you don't work your back, then you're still, it'd be like if you only worked your quads and not your hamstrings or glutes, right? So a lot of people just work the front. Make sure you're always working your back too. So we're gonna go Superman for 1 minute. So on your stomachs, and we're gonna lift knees off the ground. I like to hold arms back. You can hold your arms in front. Either way. I like this one a little bit more because I can open those shoulders up a little. And like I said, I have a little bit tighter of a chest. So this one feels a little more comfortable. Lift those knees up. Squeeze your glutes the entire time. Good, we are halfway. Point the toes. Good, engage your quads and glutes. Tighten everything. You can even kind of feel your back, see if it's engaged. You should feel that burning a little bit more. Good, we have 20 seconds left. See if you can lift up just a little bit higher. Awesome. 10 seconds left. A little bit higher if you can. Squeeze the glutes even more. Point the toes. Open the chest. And relax. Good. Okay, so you noticed we did straight down the middle, we worked on our obliques, and then we worked on our back. That is addressing our entire trunk. That is such a good way to structure a baseline core workout. So if you haven't been doing core and 2021, core is part of your goal, I would say these are great to start with. Okay, so we are back to the beginning. We're gonna hold bear crawl, or you can walk side to side. I'm gonna do the hold. The side to side felt pretty difficult, and then the resisted bicycle crunches then felt almost like I was gonna fail, to be honest. I haven't been doing as much core either, so I'm gonna throw myself into the same thing. So whichever one challenges you, that's the one I want you to do. So you can either go bear crawl, where you're walking side to side, or holding. So we're gonna do a full minute. Here we go. So go bear crawl. And like I said, I am just holding it here. And notice knees right under my hips, wrists right under my shoulders. And I'm holding a pretty flat back the whole time. Good, and I want you to really focus on tightening your core to the point, I like to envision if you have a dog, if the dog was going to jump on your stomach or someone was going to poke you in the stomach, you would tense, right? I want you to imagine that, but you're tensing the entire time. Good, we are halfway. If you feel this a little bit in your quads, totally fine. Just means you're engaging them a little bit in this position too. Good. Let's shift slightly forward. Make sure you're holding that tension. Look slightly in front of you. Good. 3, 2, 1, relax. Okay, so if you have those bands, mini bands, let's go resisted bicycle crunch. Otherwise, you just do normal bicycle crunch. All right, like I said in the beginning with this one, I want you to envision smashing a grape, something below your lower back, just to cue yourself. Okay, here we go. We're going 10 on each side. All right, smash the grape, press out against the band, and 1. Press out. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, good. Keep pressing. 6, 6, whew. 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 10. Another way you can make this a little bit more difficult if you feel like this one's a little easy is actually coming all the way up each time that you are doing the crunch. That is going to challenge you a lot. And that is actually one of the exercises that is in the core program that I actually have available in the shop too on my page. Okay, so we are on elevated side crunch. Yeah, that one is really difficult. I would say if you felt like that was easy, definitely try the one where you're fully lifting. I guarantee, doesn't matter how advanced your core is, that one is hard. Okay, here we go. 35 seconds. Lift that hip up. Make sure on something that's elevated and really focus on that little side crunch. You can even kind of feel right there. Perfect. Hip all the way up. Awesome. We're a little over halfway. If you're still feeling it in your shoulder, you can actually use your other arm to help you take a little bit of pressure off of that elbow and hand. And that's just if you're feeling it still in your shoulder. A little bit of shoulder is okay. I don't want you to mainly feel it there though. Okay, let's switch sides. Okay. Timer has started. Get that hip all the way up. Try to open your chest a little too. That's something that I tend to forget to tell people. And then I do it myself too, like I end up in this position. So when you're in any side plank, try to open that chest up, bring your hips all the way up. Whew, good. Let's raise it a little bit higher. Recheck in with that side. 3, 2, 1, relax, good. Okay, so we have Superman. We're back on our stomachs. Okay, so we're on for 1 minute. Okay, here we go, all the way up. Good, point the toes, engage the glutes. Raise your chest up. Perfect. And I want you to also try to push those shoulders away from your ears. If you're in the same position as me, if you are in front holding, you're gonna actually feel that in your upper back too. I would actually say that one is a little bit more challenging and better to do if you feel like this one's a little too easy. So you do you, challenge yourself a little bit more. If this feels good, you're feeling the burn, then hang out here. We got 15 seconds left. Recheck in, point the toes, engage your glute, raise up a little bit higher. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Relax. Okay, let's get a little drink of water again. Only if you feel good about drinking water while doing core. And then we're going to do one last round. Okay. And then we have a little bit of upper body. And then I will kind of explain a little bit more about myself. Okay, so we are back to bear crawl, and we're on for 1 minute. Okay, so like I said, you can go side to side, or you can, honestly, what I would say is if this one is something you can't do, let's just hold normal plank. That way you are still able to do something, and you don't feel like you're just kind of waiting for the next exercise. So plank on your forearms or on your hands, and or bear crawl. Okay, so 1 minute, here we go. Hover the ground or move side to side, or you're doing plank right now. So if you have wrist issues, maybe that's another goal, to try and fix that. I think that I hear that a lot with climbers, but then I hear that no one stretches. So I think that, you know, you gotta try everything first. Good. Remember, keep the tension in your core. Let's shift slightly forward. Whew. Good. Rotate a little bit so you guys can see me a little better. Awesome. Notice I'm hovering off the ground, keeping the core tension. Oh my goodness. Longest minute ever. These get hard quick. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, so we are in our elevated side crunch. I just said elevated side crunch. We've been doing side plank. Okay, here we go. Timer is started. And I said side crunch because you're crunching your side. Good. Raise that hip up. Open that chest up. Good. Good. Check in. Are you still holding that tension? And again, like I said, if the shoulder's getting tired, have the other arm help out a little bit. Good. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Let's go other side. Okay. Last one on this side. Timer started. Open the chest up. Raise the hip up. Good. Check in. Is that side still engaged? I always tend to have one side that feels it a little bit more. I think that's pretty normal. A lot of people's bodies are a little bit uneven, and I think that's okay. It's just your anatomy, and as long as you're not having any terrible pain. All right, relax. It's okay to have a little bit of uneven parts of your body, but nothing should be super substantial. Okay, so we are Superman, and then we're gonna do some push-ups, and I'm gonna kind of explain what I do, but we'll stretch at the end too. Okay, 1 minute on your stomach. And if you were doing the one that I was doing with your hands behind you, let's try and do the one where our hands are above us for this last minute. Here we go. Point the toes, lift the knees off the ground. Engage your glutes. Good, and if you start to get tired, bring the arms closer, almost into a W position. And if that still feels hard, then you can bring them back. But I want you to try and hang out here as long as possible. Point the toes, engage your glutes. Lift off the ground. Ooh, I'm getting tired. W. Good, we're halfway. Point the toes, engage the glutes. You guys are doing awesome. Keep going. Good, squeeze, lift. Make sure those knees are not touching the ground. We have 10 seconds left. Good, raise up a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Awesome, you guys. Okay, for arms, all I'm gonna go over are push-ups, but push-ups are huge, right? A lot of times, what I experience from all different levels, it really depends on the sport you're doing. It depends on your exercise history, and it depends on if you've had like any shoulder injuries or anything with your chest, collarbones, all that affects push-ups. It's all pushing and pulling. So for push-ups, I'm going to go over both elevated push-up and knee push-ups, and then you guys can do normal if that feels like it's too easy. So for this, we're going to do only 6 for elevated. What I want is for you to be basically, I don't want wide push-ups. A lot of people do push-ups here. This, it's not necessarily super bad, but it does compromise your shoulders a little bit more. What I want you guys to do, if you were looking under me doing the push-up, I want to push up here, not here. This is like chaturanga and yoga, and this is your tricep push-up. I want it slightly out, okay? That is going to be your strongest position. And here we go for 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, look up the whole time. 5, 6. Good. So for that elevated, what you noticed was basically everything should be pretty aligned. You can, if you do elevated, you can typically pump out a little bit more. If that still feels difficult, I actually want to show you guys one more thing. You can always use one of these super long bands and wrap it around a pull-up bar. And so what I did is I just girth hitched this around that, and I'm just going to demonstrate one so that you guys can see. So I kind of push my body through this, and then notice I'm putting the band right on my hips. So it's taking quite a bit of weight off. And so I can go into the same, you know, normal push-up position, but then when I go down and I come up, it takes so much weight off. So I really feel confident in going full range of motion, but it's just taking a little bit of weight off. So what's really nice about that is I would combo doing those normal elevated and or knee push-ups and then taking weight off, right? Because if you're doing other sports, you can, I mean, any other sport, you can take some weight off when you're doing any motion, right? So this is the modification for that push-up. So now we're going to go knee because we're doing 3 sets. So knee push-up, here we go. You do not have to go all the way down. We're going 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. So notice I'm looking up the whole time. Everything stays even. The moment you look down, that is going to compromise your shoulders. And then we're going to do very last, we're going to go normal, okay? If you can't do normal, then I want you to do one of the modifications I showed you before. This is our last one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. These are hard for me. 6. Okay, so why does that feel hard? I haven't been practicing that as much. So I did want to, we have a few minutes left. If you guys have any questions for me, you can also email me too. Oh, there are questions. Joined late, will these movements be sent via email? Yes. After watching you do the exercise you just did, can you use the band while doing the bear moving plank? And what would be accomplished? Yes. Okay. Definitely. If you're doing some of these exercises. Elbow. Coordinates. These awesome. Okay. So sorry guys. I was looking at the questions. I love the bear crawl idea of using the bands. Yes, you could totally do that. You do want to be careful with not taking too much weight off because that's just going to lift your hips up. But you can because you'll be fighting against it and pressing. I would say for all of these, yes, the recording, you guys will be sent this. And if you guys just in general have questions, shoot me a message on social media. It's Body and Root. Or you can message me on my website, which is bodyandroot.com. But yeah, I love doing full body stuff. I work with outdoor athletes. I also work with mastectomy patients as well because I've gone through it and come out the other end stronger. So I have so much experience with shoulders and anything to do in general with your upper body. And honestly, trunk, because that plays such a big part into that. I went to college, did exercise sports science. I ended up doing strength and conditioning and fell in love with outdoor sports. So I decided to now go the collegiate route of teaching. But I love working with outdoor athletes and I would not change anything. So if you guys have any strength and conditioning questions, like I said, email on my website or social media. But thank you so much for everything. And yeah, check out the collagen that Gnarly has. It's really good in hot chocolate or coffee. Okay, see you guys later.